Ugh. You've probably seen, as you've been working, something that looks like this. Have you seen that before? We say, when we see this, we read this as f of x. It's just telling us that the equation that follows is a function. Now, does anybody know what a function is?
Like the equation you work by when you're doing something.
Okay, but what, like, define function? If I tell you one equation is a function and another is not, what does it mean? Do you know? It means that each input has one and only one output. Now think about input and output. What is input when we're talking about equation? When you're graphing, what do you put in? What value do you put in? The what? Y'all are going to have to talk to me. Oh my goodness. Output is y, input is x. So one and only one y for every x. Your y's can't repeat. That's what it means to be a function, okay? If they say f of x, they're telling you it is a function, okay? All lines, with the exception of vertical lines, are functions. Now, if you're graphing, and I asked you to graph this, you would just graph y equals 2x plus 3, okay? It kind of takes the place of y. In fact, it exactly takes the place of y, but it just says that it's a function. So tomorrow we'll really work with some functions. Today, I want you to practice with this notation and what it means. So if I asked you, y'all got that? Or you need me to wait a second? Okay. If I told you we'll use that same one. What was it? 2x plus 3? If I said, okay, f of x equals 2x plus 3, what is f of 6? What does that mean you do? This is what you plug in for every x. Okay? So I go back to f of x and I say 2. Instead of an x, I'm replacing it with 6 plus 3. Does that make sense or no? You look a little funny, Montreal. No? All right, see the original equation's f of x, right? So what I did, I replaced the x with 6 here, so then I'm going to replace this x with 6. Because what's in parentheses is what you're going to replace the x with.
We want to know why you put 6 where that x is.
Like the initial, that would be the problem. The problem would say if f of x equals this, then what is f of 6? Does that make sense? I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, so now I would need to follow the order of operations to simplify it. So what comes first? Multiplication. So I got 12, which is, so that means if f of x is 2x plus 3, then f of 6 equals 15. That's not too bad, right? How about this one? It can be, I'm going to change the number up because it can be any, the letter up. It can be any letter. How about if h of x equals x squared plus 2x? What is h of negative 3? Say again?
You just filled in all the X's.
Plug.
Yes, yes.
Asking what it is.
Right.
Negative 3 is,
Here's an x and here's an x, so those are going to get replaced with negative 3.
okay. Be done.
Yes. All right, I'm squaring the negative 3 and 2 times negative 3. Does everybody see how I plugged it in there? Yes, no, maybe so. Negative 3 squared is what? 9. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So what is 9 plus negative 6? 3. So h of negative 3 is 3. You are basically, just like when you had a t-chart and you were plugging those x values in, you're doing the same thing here. It just looks a little different. Does that make sense? Let's do another. Yeah.
Why did you put a 2 for H if I was H in the problem?
Why did I put a 2 for h?
No, why is H in the problem? You just put the H.
It can be f, it can be h, it can be g, it can be anything. So it still tells us that it's a function. It's still function notation. I wanted you to see that I could use different variables. What if I said that g of x was 2x minus 5? And I asked you, now this is going to get a little trickier, what is g of x plus 1? Whatever the x is, what am I replacing it with? X plus 1. Everything else stays the same.
So that means that X right there, that would make it 2X plus 1?
Yes. But that 2 needs to multiply to everything, so you're going to have to put it in parentheses. X plus 1 minus 5. Does everybody see what I did? I literally just took the x out and put the x plus 1 in the place of it. Hold up.
That's when you multiply.
So I got to multiply it through. So 2x plus 2 minus 5. Can I simplify that any? Sure. Negative 3. Does that make sense? All right, y'all are saying yeah now. I'm believing you.